Well, good morning. Mark Homer here. Well, we've woken up this morning to some news I really didn't expect. I expected that we were going to remain in the EU. I thought that in a couple of weeks' time everyone would have forgotten about it and life would be getting back to normal again. The markets have dropped significantly this morning. Obviously, the Bank of England are pumping money in, and we've got a result which the financial markets are certainly not in favour of. So what do I think this really means for us? Well, at the moment I'm buying sterling, so I'm buying the pound sterling. Market, the pound has dropped over 10% this morning. It's come back a little bit, but I believe in the long-term future of this country and in our currency, and I think things will start to get back to normal. But there's a period of time now where there's uncertainty. People don't know what's going to happen. We're in uncharted territory. We haven't come out of a big trading block like this before. People don't understand how quickly that's going to happen and what the ramifications are going to be. Whenever there's uncertainty, usually there's an opportunity. I'm very much of the belief that when X number of people are doing this, then you should probably be moving the other way and doing something else. And I certainly believe that in this scenario. Obviously, there's lots of opportunities with stocks this morning, but in terms of property, what I'm really passionate about and what you would know me for, I think there's a little kind of period in time now where we've got a few months where sellers are going to be very, very uncertain. They're probably not going to be as sure about how much they're going to sell their property for. And when a property's been on the market for a few more months than they might have expected it to, you may be able to, in a small number of cases, you may be able to sow that seed of fear and get properties a little bit cheaper. So I think there's an opportunity. Now the market is softening. We've had really, really strong growth after the recession, and the market has gone up, and it's become more difficult to buy properties quite so cheaply. I think there's an opportunity now. There's a period of time where the market will soften, and you're going to be able to get more deals from more vendors. So what types of deals are they? Well, obviously, your small single-let houses. The average homeowner is going to be a little bit more concerned if their property doesn't sell, as quickly. They may be worried about getting bank lending. They may be worried about their job. But if you're looking at the kind of bigger buildings, maybe the commercial buildings that you might convert, well, developers are going to be concerned about whether they're going to be able to sell their end units. So I suspect there'll be less of those bidding on those kinds of units. Obviously, in the medium to long term, I think things will recover, and I don't think we'll have an issue. You always need to invest for the long term anyway. So anything you're buying, whether it be property or maybe even shares, there's some big opportunities this morning. You need to be looking at those to be holding them at least 3 to 5 years. My ideal investment time frame is 20 years plus. And I just think it's an ideal opportunity to get assets very cheaply. For the time being and for the short term. So what do I think is going to happen with our exit from the EU? Well, of course, the government's not going to want to suddenly say to the EU, we're out, and tomorrow the free trade's going to stop and the free movement of people's going to stop. They're going to try and create a controlled exit. So some of them may use it as an opportunity to renegotiate the deal that we've got with Europe, and I suspect they will have to kind of work under the banner or the badge of actually coming out of the EU, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the elements or a lot of the elements of the European Union won't remain. For example, I suspect we're going to continue to be part of a free trading bloc, and as part of the negotiation to remain part of that trading bloc, we're probably going to have to allow the free movement of people. So immigration will probably continue, maybe not at the same levels or from the same locations, but immigration will obviously still be quite strong into the country, I suspect. And if you look at the Leave campaign, there's quite a few of them saying this morning that actually we weren't making any promises that immigration was going to reduce. So, you know, that's the first thing. You know, the trading bloc and the free movement of people, I suspect that something similar to what we have now will remain. Maybe there'll be some other changes in terms of the relationship and the way in which we, you know, interact with some of our European partners. Obviously, it's even less likely now that we'll ever go into any kind of euro. And there may be some other changes in terms of borders. There may be some changes in terms of the banking system. And we won't have to take on all of these European directives. But I wouldn't assume that all of a sudden we're going to be like the US and completely separate. I suspect this untangling process will take quite a long period of time. And obviously during that time period, you're going to get quite a few opportunities, and this is years I'm talking about, quite a few opportunities to invest in the markets and to make use of this. And the fear will subside and we'll get back to normal again. What do I think is going to happen to interest rates? Well, that can's been kicked down the road again. This morning, the Bank of England are pumping huge amounts of money into the market. And that means interest rate rises are even further away. They're pushed down the road and they're, you know, even less likely to happen anytime soon. So that's a good thing in terms of your mortgages. You know, existing mortgages are going to remain cheap. And any new ones you take out, well, they're probably going to be cheap too. So I quite like that news. But all in all, I think it's a period where you really want to focus on what's happening. Read the FT, read The Economist, get out there, speak to your vendors, speak to the agents, see if there are pockets where things have really softened, which will give you an opportunity to get some deals and to get assets cheaper than you normally would be able to. Things are on sale right now, so grab the opportunity with both hands. Thanks for listening. We're going to be talking more on this topic on social media and email. We're going to be putting updates out for you shortly, so keep watching.